Welcome to Audiobook Summaries. Today, we embark on an unprecedented, monumental deep dive into the single most critical skill for academic and professional success in the 21st century. The ability to focus deeply. If you are a student, if you are navigating the complex, often overwhelming demands of academic life, if you are struggling to keep up with the relentless, 24/7 pace of digital information, or if you simply want to learn faster, retain more, and achieve elite results in less time, this colossal summary is your definitive, essential guide. We are dissecting the transformative, life-altering principles of deep work, rules for focused success in a distracted world, by the renowned computer scientist and author Cal Newport. This is not a book about simple time management. It is a profound, radical, and necessary book about attention management. It is a philosophical and practical call to arms against the pervasive, insidious culture of digital distraction that is silently, yet systematically, sabotaging your grades, eroding your learning potential, and crippling your long-term intellectual capacity. We will explore why the very tools designed to connect us are, in fact, disconnecting us from our true potential, and how to reclaim the power of your mind. To truly appreciate the value of deep work, we must first understand its historical context. For centuries, the ability to concentrate was not a skill. It was the default state. Scholars, scientists, and thinkers operated in an environment where distraction was a rare event, not a constant barrage. Think of Isaac Newton, who, in a period of intense focus, developed the laws of motion and universal gravitation. Think of the great philosophers, whose work required months of uninterrupted contemplation. Their success was not just due to genius, but to the unbroken continuity of their attention. Today, that continuity is shattered. The rise of the internet, social media, and the smartphone has created a world where our attention is the most valuable, and most aggressively targeted, commodity. We are not just fighting for focus, we are fighting against a multi-billion-dollar industry designed to fragment our minds into tiny, profitable pieces. This is why deep work is no longer a luxury for the elite, it is a survival skill for anyone who wishes to thrive intellectually. Let us return to the typical student in the modern era. Picture this scene in your mind. They sit down at their desk. The intention to study is genuine. Yet, the environment is a minefield of distraction. The laptop is open to multiple tabs, one for the assignment, one for research, one for a streaming service, and one for social media. The phone is within arm's reach, face up, and the smartwatch is vibrating gently on the wrist. Every few minutes, a notification buzzes. A text message arrives. A new email pops up. Or, most insidiously, the subconscious, almost involuntary urge to check social media pulls them away from the task at hand. They are not truly studying. They are engaging in what Newport meticulously defines as shallow work. Shallow work is non-cognitively demanding, logistical work, often performed while distracted. It is the kind of work that is easy to replicate, easy to measure, and rarely creates new value. It is the busy work of the modern world. For a student, shallow work manifests in countless, time-wasting ways. The illusion of organization, like endless reorganization of notes into aesthetically pleasing, but ultimately unread, digital folders. Spending an hour choosing the perfect font for a title page. The busy work of communication, like spending hours in group chats discussing the assignment rather than actually doing the assignment. Writing long, unnecessary emails to professors about minor details. The distraction tax, like the time spent endlessly checking the university portal for grade updates that have not yet been posted, or scrolling through news feeds to feel informed. The problem is that the modern academic environment, saturated with digital connectivity, has conditioned students to live in a perpetual state of continuous partial attention. This is a state where your brain is constantly, relentlessly switching focus, never fully committing its entire cognitive power to the task at hand. You are always half listening, half reading, half thinking. This is the antithesis of learning. Newport argues, with compelling evidence, that in the knowledge economy, two core abilities are becoming increasingly rare, and therefore, increasingly valuable. Mastering these two abilities is the key to separating yourself from the average student and achieving elite performance. The first ability is the capacity to quickly master hard things. This means the ability to take a complex, challenging subject, advanced calculus, organic chemistry, constitutional law, and internalize it rapidly and deeply. This is not possible through superficial, distracted study. The second ability is the capacity to produce at an elite level, in terms of both quality and speed. This means writing an essay that is not just acceptable, but brilliant. It means solving a problem set not just correctly, but elegantly and efficiently. Both of these rare and valuable abilities rely entirely, unequivocally, on the practice of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. That IT is a skill that allows you to quickly master complicated information and produce better results in less time. It is the mental state where your brain is firing on all cylinders, fully engaged, and operating at its absolute peak. Newport provides a simple, yet profound, mathematical formula that governs all high-quality intellectual output. High-quality work equals time spent multiplied by intensity of focus. Most students, when faced with a looming deadline or a difficult exam, instinctively try to increase the time spent. They pull all-nighters fueled by caffeine, they spend entire weekends glued to their desks, they log 12 or 14 hours of study time. But if the intensity of focus is low, if they are constantly checking their phone, if their mind is wandering, if they are listening to music with lyrics, the output remains tragically low. The hours are logged, but the learning is minimal. Deep work is about maximizing the intensity of focus. It is about creating a state of flow where your mind is so fully immersed in the material that it is pushing your cognitive capabilities to their very limit. This is the state where true, lasting learning, genuine problem solving, and the creation of high-level, original thought occur. The critical, life-changing takeaway for every student is this: 2 hours of deep work can produce more valuable, long-lasting learning than 8 hours of shallow work. This is the secret to getting ahead without burning out. The reason shallow work is so destructive is due to a psychological phenomenon known as attention residue. This concept is the silent killer of productivity and academic performance. When you switch from one task to another, say, from writing a complex analysis for a history paper to quickly checking a text message from a friend, your attention does not immediately follow the switch. A significant, lingering residue of your attention remains stuck thinking about the previous task. If you check your phone for 1 minute, your brain spends the next 10 minutes trying to fully re-engage with your history paper. It is still processing the text, wondering about the friend's response, or anticipating the next notification. If you check your phone every 10 minutes, you are essentially studying with a fraction of your cognitive power. You are never truly focused. You are constantly operating at a diminished capacity. This constant context switching is not just inefficient, it is actively, physically rewiring your brain to become bad at focusing. You are training your brain to crave novelty, to seek out the next distraction, to feel uncomfortable with sustained, quiet effort. You are making deep work feel like a difficult, unnatural chore. This is the most dangerous habit a student can develop. To truly understand deep work, we must look at the science of how the brain learns. The key lies in myelin. Myelin is a fatty tissue that grows around the neurons in your brain. It acts like insulation on an electrical wire, allowing the signal to travel faster and stronger. When you practice a skill or focus intensely on a concept, you are strengthening the myelin sheath around the relevant neural circuits. Deep work is essentially the process of forcing your brain to fire those circuits repeatedly and intensely. This is why the quality of your focus matters more than the quantity of time. If you study for an hour while distracted, the myelin is thin and weak. If you study for 1 hour with intense, uninterrupted focus, the myelin is thick and strong. This is how you master hard things quickly. Newport identifies 4 main ways people structure their deep work. The monastic approach involves eliminating all shallow obligations. This is difficult for most students, but useful for final exam periods. The bimodal approach involves dedicating long, uninterrupted blocks of time to deep work, while leaving the rest of the time for shallow work. this is ideal for writing a thesis or major project. The rhythmic approach involves creating a simple, daily ritual. This is the most practical for daily studying. For example, deciding that from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every night, you do deep work. The journalistic approach involves fitting deep work into any free time slot. This is the hardest to master, but useful for busy schedules. The goal is to choose a philosophy that minimizes the need for willpower and maximizes the consistency of your focus. Now, let us explore the 4 actionable rules of deep work. Rule number 1 is to work deeply. This rule is about creating rituals. You cannot wait for inspiration. You must schedule deep work. Designate a specific place, like the quiet section of the library or a specific desk, and a specific time for deep work. Your brain will associate this environment with intense focus. Define how you will work. For example, no internet access for the first 90 minutes. Have a clear routine to transition into deep work, such as making a cup of tea or reviewing your goal for the session. Rule number 2 is to embrace boredom. This is counterintuitive. To master deep work, you must train your brain to resist the urge for distraction outside of your work time. Do not check your phone or email the moment you feel bored. Let your mind wander. This strengthens your focus muscle. Try productive meditation. When walking between classes or waiting in line, instead of pulling out your phone, use that time to think deeply about a complex problem from your studies. This trains your brain to sustain focus even when there is no external stimulus. Schedule your internet use. Do not use the internet randomly. Schedule specific, short blocks of time for checking email and social media. Outside of those blocks, the internet is off limits. Rule number 3 is to quit social media. Newport argues that you should only use a tool if its benefits clearly outweigh its costs. For most students, the cost of social media, such as attention residue and time wasted, far outweighs the benefit. Most people use social media because it offers any benefit, like staying in touch with friends. The deep work craftsman only uses a tool if it is the best way to achieve a core goal. Try taking a 30-day break from all optional social media. After the break, ask yourself if you missed anything important. The answer is almost always no. Rule number 4 is to drain the shallows. This rule is about minimizing shallow work to free up time for deep work. Schedule every minute of your day, including breaks, meals, and shallow work. This forces you to be intentional about how you spend your time. Assign a depth score to your tasks. Writing a complex essay is deep work. Answering a simple email is shallow work. Aim to spend a high percentage of your study time on deep work. Be hard to reach. Make it clear to friends and classmates when you are unavailable. This protects your focus blocks. Deep work is not just about what you do during your study session. It is about how you live your life. Prioritize sleep. Deep work is mentally exhausting. Sleep is when your brain consolidates learning and repairs the myelin sheath. You cannot sustain deep work without high-quality sleep. Understand the importance of downtime. Your brain needs periods of true rest to solve complex problems. When you are constantly stimulated, you prevent your brain from entering the diffuse mode of thinking, which is essential for creative breakthroughs. Schedule time to do nothing. The ultimate goal is not just to be productive, but to live a life of meaning and fulfillment. Deep work provides the structure to achieve academic success while also leaving time for the things that truly matter. It is a superpower in a distracted world. By embracing these rules, you are not just improving your grades. You are training your mind to be capable of producing world-class results. If you found the wisdom in this summary valuable, please cast a vote for your own growth by subscribing to Resume Audiobook. We release new, in-depth audiobook summaries every week to help you master the world's best knowledge. Thank you for listening. Now, go master the art of deep work. Thank you. Please follow, like and subscribe. See you soon.